when I think Marjorie Greene, when that name pops in my head, I don't immediately follow that thought up with stable, reasonable, kind, thoughtful, right? Those words usually don't exist for a while when the name Marjorie Greene comes to my head. But somehow she'll find these new ways to stoop to new lows. And you would think we wouldn't be surprised by that, given that she kind of her thing is these unhinged rants and unhinged statements, for example.
In that room? No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him. Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? Whoever was talking last was calling.
I love it. She's so whack. But I love, it's like a double insult to go, I am going to insult someone and also not know their name. What's his face? That moron. What's his face? Then
they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? Whoever was talking last was calling me insane. But yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats
annex. But still, even though she's known for stuff like that, her latest statement hits a new low. She posted in the immediate aftermath of news breaking that Pope Francis had passed away. She posted, today there were major shifts in global leaderships. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God. Immediately, by numerous news outlets being connected, obviously, seeming to be a statement about Pope Francis. Why? Because honestly, I don't think Marjorie, she talks about worshiping Jesus. I don't think she would really like Jesus if she met Jesus. If Jesus were around today, I don't think her and a lot of her cohort would really like him. Because the reason she's upset with Pope Francis is him still upholding the idea that being gay is sinful, but being like, hey, what if we're like respectful? What if we treat people as humans? Not even totally bending on the principle that Marjorie would want him to stand for, but just saying, as was laid out by Jesus, we treat people with respect and dignity, or him acknowledging climate change, or critiquing income inequality, speaking out against the demonization to the lengths that MAGA does it of immigrants, being less focused on culture war issues. I guess those are the reasons that she's so upset with him. But again, it's so fascinating that she calls evil things that are so Jesus-y, okay? That's what she's saying. Now, you might have seen, and obviously our heart goes out to many, many people who are going to be very sad by this news and those around Pope Francis, and he was quite the figure. But J.D. Vance just recently, the day before Pope Francis passed away, met with him very briefly.
Pray for you every day. God bless you. So good to see you. Good morning. How are you?
Find yourself up in
good. Yeah, thank you. I've not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health.
Now, actually, this did come right after Pope Francis seemingly criticized the Trump administration. New York Times reports Pope meets with J.D. Vance after criticism of Trump administration. Vice President J.D. Vance met with the with Pope Francis, and this came after the Pope criticized the Trump administration's deportation policies and urged Catholics to reject anti-immigrant narratives, an unusually direct attack on the American government. The rebuke came in the form of an open letter to American bishops in February, with some of the Pope's criticisms apparently leveled directly at statements made by Mr. Vance. So that was an interesting context. And it just so happened that meeting fell right before the passing of the Pope. And so again, after this news, going back to this, Marjorie Taylor Greene declares evils being defeated by the hand of God in apparent celebration of Pope Francis's death. Now, what's interesting is, you know how after the attempted assassination of Trump, which by me and by all relevant Democrats in power was completely condemned and opposed, if ever there was a shift back to criticism of him, you would hear MAGA go, wow, why can you believe they don't even care, it's so insensitive. And now about the death of somebody, this is how she's speaking of it. A message from the Vatican: dearest brothers and sisters, with deep sorrows, I must announce the death of our Holy Father Francis. At 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of his church. He taught us to live the values of the gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of those who are the poorest and most marginalized. To which Marjorie says, ugh, ew. I'm not even kidding. It's so strange how opposed to key tenets of Christ's teachings, not that I'm the expert, normal caveat, someone like Marjorie is. With immense gratitude for his example as a true discipline of Lord Jesus, they continue, we commend the soul of Pope Francis to the infinite merciful love of the one and true in God. Now, while we're on the topic of Marjorie, and again, our condolences go out to Pope Francis's family and all of those who are impacted. But while we're on the topic of Marjorie, you remember at her most recent town hall, there was just absolute chaos, people being dragged out and tased. We have a local news report, Fox 5, man stunned during Marjorie Taylor Greene's town hall is a Marine veteran. Attorney says, and apparently not a Democrat. The attorney for a Dallas man arrested during a protest of Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's town hall meeting is demanding Cobb County prosecutors dismiss his charges. And he was tased. We watched that video already. His attorney is saying that he was unlawfully arrested. He is an independent voter, and contrary to Congresswoman Greene's statements, was not compensated for attending the town hall. He was paid or affiliated in any way with the Democratic Party. Instead, he was invited by the Congresswoman's staff to attend and register for the event. So we'll see how that plays out. And then speaking of, Marjorie is one of the most unhinged members of Congress. Speaking of that little group of the top five, in the top five is Nancy Mace, who's a Republican congresswoman. And she was at some store and a constituent said, hey, Nancy. Now, we don't have the video leading up to what I'm about to play. I haven't seen even her allege there's more video that gives more context where he was being more aggressive. So all we have is this, which she captioned, some unhinged lunatic, a man wearing Daisy Dukes at a makeup store, got in my face today. Dems are nuts, so I went off, and I won't be backing down. I hold the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Try me, mother. No, she didn't say that part, but she did say try me. So the reason I emphasize that is in her description, she says, this is the video of the guy getting in my face. Let's see if that's the case. And for some reason, she takes a shot at him being at a makeup store. Men can't wear makeup, Nancy? Really, Nancy? Because she's about to proclaim herself by just jumping to conclusions as a gay hero of the gays. And I supported gay marriage just because she perceives the guy as gay. But then goes on and is now taking random shots about what, things can be worn by men and not. But also, the question is literally so benign. Hey, Nancy, when will you do a town hall next?
I do them every year.
Every year.
You want to keep
Are you
going?
gonna do any more this
you want
year?
to keep going and
Are you
keep
gonna do it?
harassing me?
I'm asking if
You
you're
could
gonna
have
have any more
gone to
town
a
halls
dozen
this year.
town halls last year.
I asked if you're doing any more this year. It was one simple question.
Yeah.
Are you doing a town
I've
hall
already
this year?
done one. I'll do
Are
plenty
you doing
more.
any more this year? It was a simple question.
You're always invited.
Okay, sweet. Well, look
And
out
by
for
the
an
way,
actual invitation
I
for the
voted
next
for
one.
gay marriage twice.
What does that have to do with
So
me?
I'm just saying, it has to everything to do with you.
You think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
do,
That's
absolutely.
your first stance when you
Yep.
speak with me?
Wait, she said I do? Well, good thing this constituent wasn't black. Can you imagine? Well, I'll have you know I support civil rights. I supported the Civil Rights Act, so... Whoa.
Twice.
What does that have to do
So
with me?
I'm just saying, it has to everything to do with you.
You think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
do,
That's
absolutely.
your first stance when you
Yep.
speak with me?
Absolutely.
There's no other humane
If you want to get in my
conversation you
face
can have
about town
me?
halls, you should have shown
There's
up to
no
one
other
last
humane
year.
thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I support gay marriage.
Yeah,
That's
because you're getting in my face about a town hall. You could have gone last year.
Simple question from right
Would you
over
like
here
me?
is if you have any plans to have more town halls this year.
I have town
That was
halls
one
every year.
question.
I have over a dozen
Okay.
every year.
Great. That was my entire question. You didn't have to go
Yeah,
into the spiel at all.
you
I
could
really
have.
asked
You
what
could
to
have come to any of them last year.
Okay. And I'm
I had
asking you
over a
about this year, not
dozen.
2024. But
Where were you the year
right?
before that,
Okay.
or the year before that?
It was a simple
Oh,
question. I
because
asked
you know
if
what?
have
Because
any
you
more that
people
you're
on the
going to
left
this
are
year or not.
crazy.
So I'm
You're
on the left.
absolutely fucking crazy.
I'm absolutely fucking
You are,
crazy.
and get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane.
Fuck you.
You're gonna fuck me. You're
Yep.
gonna be voted
Bye.
out so fast this year. I
I'm
can't
not.
wait for you to fucking
I'm not.
go into
I
the
won by
dirt.
so much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are. You're a disgrace. I asked you a simple question, and you just to go on this tirade and tell me "fuck you."
Yeah, fuck you.
Disgusting.
Get out of my face.
Fuck you. How about
Get out of.
Okay, Nancy. He's on your face. You wanted that so badly. What she really was thinking was get in my face, because she wanted to be able to say what she ended up saying anyways. Some unhinged lunatic, to remind you. Like, you just saw the video, and then this is her video. She took it. Some unhinged lunatic, a man wearing Daisy Dukes. I don't even know what Daisy Dukes are. Sorry. Wait, let me really quickly look up. I'm really confused. Do you know what Daisy Dukes are? Meaning, do you? Daisy Dukes, brief, tight-fitting. Oh yeah, denim shorts. Okay. It does say for women, typically made from a pair of cut-off jeans. All right, now I know. I knew I know Daisy Dukes. I know. But no, that's good. What's your deal? Why is that a part of... At a makeup store got my face today. You just watched the video. This is not... Like, do you remember whenever she said that someone assaulted at the Capitol, a trans activist, by like ripping her arm out of her socket or something, and then the charges were dropped because it was a because I can't even get out because if it was a handshake. So she posted, I was just assaulted at the Capitol today, and then all we could tell is that it was a handshake, a nice firm Robert Beasley handshake, my father, and then we didn't have video, so I have to be a little bit more sensitive, right? This is me being sensitive, saying maybe it was a really firm handshake and it hurt, and I'm sorry that it did, that she had the sling on and she had a whole full body cast and everything. But if she did get hurt, I don't want anyone to get hurt. We don't express ourselves through violence, etc., etc. But it didn't seem that that's what had happened. Now we have video of one of her got in my face encounters. Makes me doubt the he ripped my arm out and ate it story. Because here he's kindly from a larger distance than normally you talk from someone going, hey, when will you have a town hall, because I'd like to ask you some questions. And she goes, oh yeah, gay. Well, I supported gay marriage, so shut up. What a weird, can you imagine yourself, you're in an argument with someone and you assume they're gay, and then you just go, I supported gay marriage out of the blue. What a lunatic. Not the guy, her. Wear your Daisy Dukes, bruh. I do credit him, honestly. That was good. He was respectful. And then in the end, she said F you. He didn't. And then until she did. And then he reciprocally said F you, which is allowed in our code of conduct. As the gays. Share your thoughts in the comments. Support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking that join button below.